Match preview and stats. Manchester United must win this weekend, but can they actually do it? Aston Villa are struggling. Yes, but nothing is ever straightforward for United. Could this be another shock waiting to happen at Old Trafford?
Premier League action, must-win game for Manchester United, and it should be a relatively straightforward Man United win. And I say that with a star next to it, because what is straightforward for Manchester United? But it is Man United with 1 loss in 6 against Aston Villa with 1 win in 6. And of course, Villa played Thursday night in the Europa League. And we all know from last season how that can have a big impact, especially when they're away and away. Big advantage for Manchester United. And hopefully we'll see some intensity in training. I've seen the pictures in Carrington. Lots to get into on the show. I'll reveal my starting lineup and how we think we win this game, what the threats Villa pose, if any. But before we get into all of that, of course, the show is powered by Boyle Sports, which means we've got some interaction stuff for you. We're doing something a bit different with them on our preview shows. So the United Stand team have been checking out some match day stats and have come up with a bit of a quiz for you. It's called the Boyle Sports Data Decoder.
Mark Goldbridge previews the upcoming Premier League match between Manchester United and Aston Villa. He describes it as a must-win game for Manchester United, although he admits nothing is ever straightforward for the team. United have lost only once in their last 6 games against Villa, while Villa have won just once in 6 and also played in the UEFA Europa League recently, which could give United an advantage due to fatigue. During the show, he includes a fun quiz segment where the mystery player is revealed as Mason Mount, whose United career has been affected by injuries since joining in 2023. The preview also highlights a statistic about players scoring the most goals as substitutes this season. Finally, Goldbridge discusses the current Premier League table, noting that Manchester United and Aston Villa are joint third on 51 points, ahead of Chelsea FC and Liverpool FC. He believes United are likely to qualify for the UEFA Champions League, suggesting Villa may struggle to balance league matches with Europa League commitments. Form and intensity. The last 4 games have been embarrassing. United start slow, lose focus, and it's all down to the players. Can Carrick really get them to show some fight? Or are we watching another collapse?
Manchester United, let's simplify the message. Let's go back to a back 4. Let's counter-attack. Let's do what we all want to do. Let's empower our players. Let's empower our fans. Let's simplify football. Let's go short term. Let's not try and rebuild anything. And the results followed from that. Because the great thing about saying, let's just do what we know, is that you don't have to look long term. Any manager that gets this job in the summer will not be able to do what Carrick's done in the last 4 months. He won't just be able to go, let's carry on like we always have. Let's play a bit of volleyball. Let's play a bit like this. You know, there will have to be something new built. But when you're an interim for 4 months, you just say, let's get the best out of what we've got. Let's just get on with it. The rebuild will be in the summer with or without me, but let's just do what we do. And that's what we've done. But as we know with these players, they are light switch players and they cannot be trusted. So yeah, they put the shift in against Man City and Arsenal and Fulham and Spurs, but then it becomes a little bit like, wow.
Mark Goldbridge compares the current form of Manchester United and Aston Villa, noting that United have lost only one of their last 6 games, while Villa have won just 1 in 6, showing poor form. United also have a strong home record, ranking among the best in the Premier League. He says United's biggest issue recently has been slow starts and a lack of intensity in matches. Since interim manager Michael Carrick arrived, the approach has been to simplify tactics, playing a back 4, focusing on counterattacks, and getting the best out of the current squad in the short term rather than rebuilding. However, Goldbridge criticizes the players for inconsistent effort, saying they perform well in big games, but often lose intensity afterward. Despite some poor performances recently, he believes 7 points from the last 12 is acceptable given how badly the team has played. Looking ahead, he says United must reset and regain intensity, starting with the Villa match. He believes it is a good opportunity because Villa are out of form and dealing with key midfield injuries, which could give United a major advantage. Energy and lineup changes. Fresh legs are needed, but the squad is so weak we can barely rotate. Should a mad start? Or will sticking with the same players cost us again? United are playing on thin ice.
There's no excuse not to have any energy. We haven't played in 10 days. So the energy, and you're responding to a terrible result against Newcastle. Let's not forget. And we need to remember, because the players need to remember, 45 minutes against 10 men, Newcastle, and we lost from a drawing position. So there's a lot to be proven. Need fresh legs, need intensity, and we need to get after them, which I think we will. Which is why I think there has to be a couple of changes in the team. I think the most important one is that, you know, I don't take any pleasure in it, but Carrick has got a big decision to make in this game. Mbeumo out, Ahmad in. And some people will have a problem with that in the chat, but we didn't have a problem leaving Ahmad out. We haven't had a problem leaving Sesko out. Even Cunha was left out at the start. I don't think Cunha started against Arsenal and Man City. So Cunha, Sesko and Ahmad have all had time out of the first starting lineup. And I think it's Mbeumo's time now. I don't know whether he'll do it, but logically it should happen.
Mark Goldbridge believes Manchester United should have an energy advantage over Aston Villa because Villa are playing in the UEFA Europa League while United have had 10 days of rest. He expects United to play with high intensity in front of the home crowd and potentially win comfortably if they start aggressively. He stresses that the team must respond to the disappointing defeat against Newcastle United FC, where United lost despite playing against 10 men. Because of that result, he believes the manager should make changes to the starting lineup. Goldbridge suggests bringing in Amad Diallo to replace a struggling attacker, saying fresh energy is needed. However, he admits the squad lacks depth, meaning many positions cannot realistically be rotated. Players like Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes will likely continue to start despite recent poor performances. He also notes defensive limitations, with injuries forcing United to rely on players like Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. Overall, he concludes that the lack of squad depth highlights the need for a major transfer rebuild in the summer. Squad depth and concerns. No excuses, but the bench is practically empty. United risk complacency, and if the players don't turn up, even Aston Villa could punish them. Can this light switch team actually deliver consistently?
And we know that we've got to do signings in the summer. But I think that going back to the game, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the lineup. Would you make any changes to the one I've done? But also, have we got any concerns about Villa? Well, you've always got concerns. I mean, United turn up and play like they did against Arsenal and Man City with the light switch on, we'll be fine. United turn up and play like they did against Newcastle and Everton and Palace and West Ham, and Villa aren't tired, it could be an interesting game. That's about the players. That's not really about the coach. I think the big thing at Man United is can you get the players to turn up? If you can get the players to turn up, we've got a great chance against anybody. If the players don't turn up, then it can be a difficult game. But I'd sort of look at that Premier League table.
Mark Goldbridge previews the Premier League match between Manchester United and Aston Villa, describing it as a must-win game for United in the race for Champions League qualification. He highlights that United have better recent form and home record, while Villa are struggling with form, injuries, and the challenge of balancing league matches with the UEFA Europa League. Goldbridge says United must show high intensity and start the match strongly, especially after a disappointing defeat to Newcastle United FC. He explains that interim manager Michael Carrick has simplified tactics by focusing on a back four and counter-attacking style to get the best out of the current squad. He suggests a few changes to the lineup, including giving Amad Diallo a chance to start, but admits the squad lacks depth, limiting rotation options. Injuries and limited replacements mean many players will likely keep their places. Goldbridge believes the match is a huge opportunity for United, as a win could move them clear of Villa in the table and strengthen their chances of qualifying for the UEFA Champions League. He concludes by predicting a 3-0 victory for Manchester United, saying the game could be decisive in securing a top 5 finish. Opportunity weekend and score prediction. This is basically a cup final. Win in Champions League football is almost guaranteed. Lose, and the season falls apart. I'm calling it now. 3-0 United, but can the team actually handle the pressure?
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Get your comments in. Make sure you smash a like on the video. The Premier League is back. Manchester United are back, and that's the main thing. Thanks again to our channel sponsor. And if you're new to Boyle Sports, don't forget there's a bet, £10, get £40 in free bets welcome offer available. As always, 18 plus UK and Ireland only. Terms and conditions are in the description, and please bet responsibly. Also, check out my video about Baller League on the Mark Goldbridge channel. I've just done that today as well. And of course, we've got Carrick's press conference tomorrow, the 10 o'clock show. Loads to go on as we build towards this game. And, obviously the game against Bournemouth on the Friday after that. So 2 big games for United. But I think this game's a cup final. And some people might say standards, but this gets us in the Champions League. If we get 3 points here ahead of Villa, they won't be coming back. And by default, they'll be 6th and we'll be in the top 5 one way or the other. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. I'll speak to you on the next one.
Manchester United should dominate Aston Villa this weekend. Villa are struggling with form and injuries, while United are rested and have home advantage. The team must show intensity from the start, and Carrick should make a few lineup changes to keep the squad sharp. If the players turn up and perform, a comfortable win and a boost in the Champions League race is very likely. But inconsistency is still a risk. United need focus and energy to avoid another slip-up. Manchester United have a huge opportunity this weekend. Aston Villa are out of form, carrying injuries, and United are rested at home. The key will be intensity from the first minute and some smart lineup changes from Carrick. If the players turn up and execute, this should be a comfortable win, and a victory could almost guarantee Champions League football. But inconsistency remains the danger. United are a light-switch team, and if they switch off, even Villa could punish them. Bottom line, United must show focus, energy, and take control. Win this, and the path to the top 5 becomes clear.